Thank you for clicking on the video, and I hope you enjoyed today's hike. If you find value in this content, be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you would like to support the channel even further, be sure to check out Walter Zollner on Patreon. And I hope you enjoy the film. Good morning. My name is Walter Zollner, and welcome to another episode of Nature Adventure Discovery here in Scenic, Pennsylvania. Today, we are at the Pinnacle Vista in Lancaster County, high above the Susquehanna River. I've came out to this little outcrop to get away from the main viewpoint up on the hill where there was a lot of wind. It's a Saturday morning, about 8 a.m. It's only about 22 degrees, and we're going to be doing a little winter hike today, northbound on the Conestoga Trail to a very special place that I want to show you, known as Tucquan Glen. I'll be telling you more about this place and this hike as we go, but for now, we're going to enjoy the view here from this rock outcropping, and then we'll be heading north into the Glen. It's going to be a beautiful hike. Thanks for joining me. I do appreciate you. Now let's go hit that trail. So as I said, we are on the Conestoga Trail, a long distance trail that runs along the river here in this region known as the Susquehanna Riverlands, a series of steep and rugged rolling hills along the lower Susquehanna here between Lancaster County and Lebanon County. But this is a really steep section where we're going to drop about, I don't know, 400 to 500 feet maybe, down to near river level. And then we'll be walking along the river for about 1.5 miles until we can reach the mouth of Tucquan Creek and enter into the preserve, which I think is one of the most beautiful places in southeastern Pennsylvania. I've been there a few times, but never in the winter. So I wanted to show it to you in a different way. So that is a short but really steep section of the trail, and I think a lot of hikers will tell you going down a steep trail, especially in these conditions, is often more dangerous and difficult than going up. But having the micro spikes is giving me that extra bit of traction, as well as having a hiking stick. You know, I always recommend, if you're doing a lot of elevation, a hiking stick or trekking pole for that extra bit of balance. So we're continuing along the orange blazed Conestoga Trail. We're about, I'd say, 80 feet above above the Susquehanna River. This section of the trail follows along the hillsides. It goes up, it goes down, and at some point we'll be climbing up again to a significant rock outcropping, and then on the other side of that outcropping will be Tucquan Glen. So we've reached the large outcropping I was talking about earlier. We've come a little over a mile, and on the other side of this outcropping will be another steep descent, and then we'll be in Tucquan Glen. One of the things I really like about Tucquan Glen is that in order to get there, you have to earn it. The only way to reach the Glen and the trail system through it is to either hike in 1.5 miles from the south, as we're doing, or 2 miles in from the north. There used to be a parking area right at the preserve. They closed it about 5 years ago because they were having problems with overcrowding and vandalism. I think they're going to keep it permanently closed, but it's a place now for real hikers. And now, don't get me wrong, it gets plenty of foot traffic, but not typically this time of year and in these conditions. So I don't expect to see anybody in there. We might. But this is a great place to stop and take a break. We're at the top of a hill, and we'll be heading in. We just passed a sign indicating that we are have now entered into the Tucquan Glen, a property of the Lancaster County Conservancy, which does so much amazing work in preservation in this region. And but the trail here, yeah, it's steep and it's slow going. I'm taking my time. One mistake here can turn a great day into an awful one. So, but we are moving along, making our way downhill, steady, slow and steady. We're right above the train tracks now, and I'm going to try to get down to the river. There's a little spit of land that comes out like a little mini delta at the base of the creek. Let's see if we can get a view down the river. But it's getting awfully windy out here, so I'm trying to keep the camera low. There's going to be a lot of wind noise in this video. We'll just have to deal with it. All right, my friends, we are now at the mouth of Tucquan Creek at the beginning of the trailhead. It's become considerably overcast, and it's 10:20. We've been out here for over 2 hours. This is not really the conditions I was looking for coming through here, but we're gonna have to make the best of it and begin our journey up through the Tucquan Glen. I can say the water levels here are so much lower than they were when I was here in the spring. When I was here in the spring, all the way from the river where we just were, which was like wild out there, it was freezing cold with the wind blowing the water across the river. But the river was backed up all the way to the first major waterfall on the creek. This was all underwater behind me. So it should make navigating along the stream a little bit easier, but we'll see how things go. So the scene here as we begin our hike upstream up Tucquan Creek is just so wild and rugged and beautiful. It's just impossible to believe we're in Lancaster County. You see these giant boulders behind me, and there's going to be a series of one after another small waterfalls and chutes, and we have this steep gorge with rhododendron on a layer of rhododendron underneath a canopy of huge poplar and a few large hemlock that still survive. And it's just a special, magical place. Very few people will really ever get to see it in the winter time in these kind of conditions, and that's why I wanted to bring you out here. The Tucquan here is considered an exceptional Pennsylvania river. It has a special designation for its scenic and aesthetic qualities. And as we continue into the gorge underneath these large trees, and I'm even seeing these massive rock outcrops on both sides of the glen, but no one's been through here yet except us, and the going is slow, but it's worth it, because this is the kind of place where you really want to take your time anyway. So I had taken the micro spikes off, but I put them back on. I feel a lot better moving through here now. So beautiful. as I've been moving along, I'm trying to think of what the right adjective is to describe this place. I think the word is, it's rugged. All of these rocks, the steepness, the unique feel of the terrain. It just feels like a rugged and wild place that's, you know, it's out of place here. Especially this lower end of the gorge. The snow here draping on all the rhododendron is really adding to that effect, of course. This is Scenic Pennsylvania right here. This is what it's all about. So the Conestoga Trail has, there was a split in the trail and the Conestoga went up the hillside. But there is still a trail here. I've been following these fox tracks since we were down by the river, and the fox tracks continue on this lower trail that I believe is going to dead end at where there's a bridge that's out. But I do just want to walk along the creek here a little more because this bend in the creek is really beautiful. I want to show you these rock formations on the other side, but then we'll have to backtrack and go up over the hillside on the orange blazed Conestoga Trail. I think this is a recent reroute of the trail system here. But you can see here these massive exposed rocks on the left bank of the creek, and there's like little small, like tiny little crevice and pocket caves all over the place. And yeah, this looks familiar. So there's a sign here that says restoration in progress, not to continue beyond this point, so we won't. But this is a beautiful little spot. Another small fall. Again, running very low. I'm kind of surprised how low it is actually. Back on the Conestoga now, and we're up above the creek, and this is going to take us up and over a hill here. This is a reroute, but it'll give us a little bit of a different look and perspective on Tucquan Glen here. We'll get up into the more drier oak and laurel habitat on the ridgetop. Just passed a group of 4 hikers coming in the opposite direction of me. It's now 11:30. We're near the top of the highest point, I believe, on this side of the creek. But I'm really taking my time here. That's because it's a Saturday. I prefer to hike on Saturdays. It's harder for me to get out on a Saturday, but I feel like I have all day and there's no rush. So I really enjoy it compared to Sundays. Moving really slow, but I'm just soaking everything in. We're back down to creek level now, and I think I'm going to try to find myself a place here to sit and have lunch. I have myself a cheesesteak that my dad made. My dad makes the best cheesesteaks. I don't know how he does it. It's going to be cold, but you know, I don't care. I'm hungry. Beautiful little spot to sit down and have lunch. Sun's trying to come out. It's about almost 12 o'clock now. Look at that. We are on the other side of the creek now. Nice, flat, easy hiking, lazy hiking here. And this looks like it almost may be like an old road. But if I do recall, there's going to be several more stream crossings ahead. And as long as the water level stays low, it shouldn't really be a problem. I want to show you another beautiful location here in Tucquan Glen. We're now on the Blue Trail, and it looks like this is some sort of rough road, but on the other side of the stream here is the remains of an old homestead and also a seasonal waterfall, which probably isn't flowing right now, but it's just up ahead here, and we got to cross this log or cross the stream to get over there. But let's go check it out. I felt very comfortable crossing that log with these micro spikes on, and I can't tell you, like, I never would ever would have tried that without them. But it's almost like being an animal, like you have claws. It just grips like everything. But we're on the other side of the stream now. I'm gonna show you this old chimney. I don't know the backstory to this, if there is a backstory to this home or homestead or what, but it's a really neat, peaceful spot here. I was curious about this metal pole or pipe. I don't know if that was once inside the chimney or why it's leaning on there. It's free. You can move it, but I'm going to leave it as it is. But this would have been a beautiful place to have a little mountain cabin or homestead here in this little bend in the creek. Gorgeous spot. And like I said, over here there is a seasonal waterfall up in there. In the springtime this thing gets raging and it comes down here all the way through. It's really nice. Alright, my friends, we are heading up into the northern end of the trail system here, heading towards River Road. There's one more interesting thing I want to see if I can find that I've never found myself, and it's a really unique, like, geological formation, and I'm not going to show you exactly where it is, if I can even find it, but I pretty much showed you what this place looks like and what it's all about. So if I can get to that one last spot, I'll turn you back on. Otherwise, we're gonna start heading back and making our way out of here. I'm just gradually working my way to the top of this formation. Just seeing if there's anything else in here. Really neat spot. Always makes you wonder how many more. See, look, little crevice in the rock right there. How many other places like that there may be here? Wow. Just an incredible miniature arch formation at the top of this rocky ridge. Absolutely incredible. This incredible miniature arch rock formation is what I wanted to show you. Again, I'm not going to give you any indication how to get here or where I'm at, but you have a rough idea, I guess. Gonna start making my way back now the way we came in, and I'll catch up with you a little bit further down the trail. I'm not gonna film too much, but what an amazing day of hiking out here in Scenic, Pennsylvania, finishing up at this masterpiece of a location. Absolutely fascinating geology here in Pennsylvania. All right, we've made it back down to river level. We're here at the mouth of the Tucquan Creek, and I'm going to walk the tracks back up to the Pinnacle. It looks like, you can see it in the distance. So the walk back is going to be pretty quick until we get to the base of it, and then we got to climb up, and that's going to be a butt kicker. But that's going to be the final push. So I might not film anything till we get up to the top. I don't know. I'm getting kind of tired. Super windy and super cold down here on the river. It's just crazy how the wind is blowing across the river. But yeah, I'll see you up ahead. All right, so we made it back to the car. I had to film the outro here in the car because the wind, I don't complain about the cold, and I'm not complaining about it now, but I was feeling it. That wind coming off the river was relentless. It never stopped. I don't think I've ever seen whitecaps on a river like that. And coming up that last final push coming up the Pinnacle, I was moving slow. I'm tired. I'm whooped. What a hike. We've been out here all day, almost 8 hours, and it's time to head back. So this was another great hike here in Pennsylvania. Seen a lot of cool stuff. I thank you for joining me. I do appreciate you. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. If you have any comments or I'm frozen cold. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And that's about it, guys. So until next time, I'll see you on the trail. I'm hungry. Time to get some dinner. All right. See you guys. Gator out.